How many people out there would like to work less hours and make more money? I'm talking get rid of the 9 to 5, get rid of the 55-hour week middle management job where you're making $75,000 a year and go make $20,000 a month doing something that's a little bit easier as long as you can do basic math. Does that sound interesting? Does that sound interesting to you? It sounds interesting to me. Let me tell you my background. Let me tell you my story and what I think not everybody could do, but we could probably get quite a few people into doing this, and not a lot of people even know about it. I don't think anybody advertises a class on how to do this. I may be the first. I don't know. What benefit is it to me? First of all, let me answer that. Why would it benefit me? I do this 100% for free. I give you the information, tell you how to do it. I don't hold your hand while you're doing it. I will give you advice and feedback. And I take half of the money of your first couple of loans until you're ready to do it on your own. And so now you know what it is. It's hard money lending. I am a licensed mortgage loan originator. I've been originating loans since 2000. I guess the end of 2002. Like I really started the end of 2002. Didn't close my first one until 2003. Obviously, the mortgage industry crashed in 2008. I got out a year and a half before that happened. I jumped back in 2012. I was there again for half a decade. I left again, came back and got my license during the end of COVID, like 2021-ish era timeframe, and I've been licensed ever since. And as a licensed MLO, I work for other people. So I work for a brokerage. And now I'm going to tell you how and why I discovered hard money. So I was working at a brokerage. Things were getting slow. And I said, man, I need to find a product I can pitch that nobody else is pitching. And everybody in our office was pitching at the time reverse mortgages, which I think are a scam. I don't care how you look at those. There's no good way to look at them. Like you die, we automatically own your house. No, I hate them. I couldn't do it. So I didn't look at that. I wasn't wanting to pitch HELOCs, lines of credit, because they're such small loans. And the way our pay structure works in the conventional loan officer world, you get paid what's called base points, where your brokerage will make an agreement with the lender, and then they'll say, oh, we get 200 base points for doing this type of loan at this whatever, and then they might give you 100 base points, or maybe if you get a salary like I was salaried, and maybe they're only going to offer you 80 base points, which is 0.8% of a loan. And in a lot of cases it was less. I don't remember the numbers, but I did get I made $25 an hour, sitting behind a desk making phone calls, and then I got paid, whatever it was for those loans. And I think the most we got paid was probably, I want to say it was 85 bips. And then they changed our pay structure. It was like 100, so it was like 1.25. But all the loan sizes were small at the time. And I was like, I got to find a product I can pitch that's better. So I came across this lender, and I don't want to give them out. I didn't realize that I could have gone to this lender without my brokerage. I could have done this completely on my own and literally just made all the money instead of giving half the money to my brokerage. I made my brokerage sign up with this lender. And I was like, sign up with them. They're great. And I started pitching care home loans because I didn't see this product anywhere. I had never written a care home loan, and they're a little bit unique. Let me explain that real quick. Care home loans, the reason there's not a lot of lenders that do them is because it's really a business inside of a house. So imagine running any business out of your house. The lender's not going to care how much money the business makes. So, and that was the case here. Care homes bring in stupid money. A 6-bed care home might be bringing in $35,000 a month in Arizona. It might be $60,000 a month in California. So these things bring in astronomical amounts of money, but because it's a business and it has expenses, there's insurance, there's staff, there's food, there's all these additional things that they have to pay for. So it's a business. So they can't look at that money and go, well, you make the money. It's really easy to ratio that. I'm not going to explain DSCR ratios, but it's really easy to make the ratio. So they would base all of the lending on market analysis, on an appraisal, a rental market analysis, and that's based on the market price, right? So if even if the place was making 30,000 and netting 15,000, but the market rent said it was should only rent for 5,000, that's the number they would go. That was my only problem with selling that product, but I did sell a lot of them, and I did them all under the flagship of my brokerage. I carried their banner, and I wish I hadn't. But in doing that, I was talking to someone one time. I was just doing this in Facebook groups, and I perfected the art of how to pitch this in a Facebook group. I'm probably a member, by the way, of like 500 Facebook groups. It's almost impossible to keep track of that. You literally have to create like a spreadsheet or have AI currently do it for you because it's too much. So I was talking to someone that didn't have a care home, but they were interested in getting a care home. And they had asked me this side question, hey, do you do fix and flip loans? And I said, yeah, sure. I was totally full of shit. I had no idea what a fix and flip loan even was. I had to go look it up. So let me explain real quick what a fix and flip loan is. A fix and flip loan has two sides, a purchase side and a rehab side, and the lender gives it all to you at once, but puts the rehab money in like an escrow account and then releases it as you complete the rehab. So maybe you bought a house for $150,000, needs $150,000 in rehab. Maybe you put, maybe you're a highly qualified buyer and you put 10% down on 150, so you're $135,000 on that first part of the note, and the whole note's $285 because you have $150,000 in rehab money waiting there for you to complete the rehab and get reimbursed. So I was like, yeah, I can do those. And I just started looking up lenders, and I found some lenders, and I called them, made sure they were legit. And I got, sure. The lender that I finally went with told me what I needed. I got everything together, and I just did what they told me to do throughout the entire loan process. And then 3 weeks later, we closed, and I had charged that person 0.75% on a $350,000 note. And when it was all said and done, they wired me $2,625. No W-2, no 1099, 3 weeks. I bet you, I probably had more time invested in that loan because I had a lot of questions for the lender. I really wanted to know how these things work and how I could better pitch them and all this. So I probably had 20 hours in that loan. So if you look at it from a time perspective, I've made what, $135-ish an hour. And then the entire time I'm still in Facebook groups, and I'm trying to get more of these things. And my second one was for $1.15 million. And I was much more brazen already. I know what I'm doing now. This is my second loan, right? And so I charged him 1%. And when that one was said and done, it was a little over 2 weeks later that one closed. And it was kind of the perfect loan, to be honest with you. Everything was lined up. He was really ready for it, paid for everything immediately, got everything back to me as soon as I asked him for it. And I was wired $11,500. Huh. I was like, that's pretty good. And then I just started pushing them. And, I probably had too many loans going at once for a brief moment in time, and I lost a few of them because I couldn't babysit all of them as much as I needed to. But I still closed 4 loans the second full month that I did this. And now we're talking $3.5 million worth of loans that I closed. And $3.5 million, I didn't really think about charging more. I felt like 1% was good at the time because these were very, very large loans. And so when you're paid $35,000 in a single month to do what you do, and it's not that difficult, I bet you I had that same 20 hours I had in the first one in the next, the number 3 through 6. Wow, my brain took a dip there. So those 4 loans, the last 4 loans I was talking about there, I bet you I had the same 20 hours in them total, like 5 hours each loan, maybe, because I was getting better at it and they were all the same loans, fix and flip loans. And I was only working with 3 different lenders. To this day, I only work with like 6 different lenders. So once you find lenders you like and you know their programs, it's really easy to stay home and just pitch their products. The meat and potatoes of this story, guys, is you could start doing this today. I could guide you with what to say. You don't even have to know how to submit a loan. You don't even have to know yet how to get a quote from a lender. Just go find some loans. I can teach you that part in 15 minutes. You'll get better at it over time. I can critique you. I can give you advice and help you get your first loans, and do it under the banner of Power Loan Group, which is my company that I operate, that I broker hard. You don't write loans. You broker hard money loans. We're not a lender. We're not a private lender. We're not doing private money. Some of these guys will tell you it's private money. Man, it's like a private money to me is like this particular guy has money and he can loan it to that particular guy. That's private money to me. That's like a one-on-one thing. These companies that are doing this, that hand out hard money, these guys have multi-billion-dollar funds that they're pulling from, or lines of credit when they run out of the fund or whatever. So they're big. I don't work with the top 2 companies in the country because they require you to have a license, but I work with the number 3, number 4, some of the biggest lenders that do this in the country, and they're efficient and they have all the right people in place and they can help you, and I will help you. But you go find a loan, and then once you have somebody that wants to do it, it's that easy to transition from that to getting quotes from a couple of different lenders, and then whittling it down to who's the best and why. And I'm not going to go into all the details of how to do that. I'm not going to go into details of how to determine a good lender is a good lender, is not a TPO, is not some white label person trying to pretend to be some other. That's what a TPO is, to third-party operator. I'm not going to go into the details of this is stuff you will need to know later that'll make you better, but it won't get you any more loans done. The loans are in the trenches. The loans are done during origination. Is going to the Facebook group and doing the work and finding people and pitching it, and not being a dick, answering people's questions, but not being pushy, not lying, not making stuff up. It's an ethical, moral business, and you can hem yourself up and get yourself sued if you start making stuff up that's not necessarily true. So the money is in originating the loans. I originate my own loans. Once you have a dozen clients, they're going to come back to you over, and because they're investors, they're going to come back to you over and over and over and over again. So where I was chasing the refi or chasing the purchase loan or chasing realtors to get their deals, you don't really have to do that in the investment world. It's the same guys that will call you up and be like, hey, $2.5 million deal, what you got? I got one today for $3 million. And I have not advertised anywhere, and I bet you close to a year. Probably really close, probably more than a year, actually, if I'm being honest. So originate them. That's the process. You originate them, get them quoted, get the application in, and then just follow the steps to get them completed. That's it. That's the whole shtick. I mean, you can, what are your customer pain points? Are they rate sensitive? Are they origination sensitive? Are they term sensitive? Do they need money rolled into the loan? Do they need, reserves rolled into the loan so the payments are covered for X number of months? Would they like to defer origination to the end of the loan? I mean, there's all kinds of little things you got to figure out about your clients. It just makes you a better customer service agent, and that's really what you are. That's really what you become when you do these kind of loans, is you become a concierge. And that's what I call myself for them, is a loan concierge. I'm not a broker. I mean, that's what I do. That's the physicality of what I do. I broker loans. But for my clients, I am a concierge. Everything they need, I do it. When I submit a loan for them, I fill out their application for them. They sign it digitally. That's it. All this is 100% tracked. Everything is super easy. Some of the lenders have portals, which makes it even easier because then you can see exactly what you need and when you need it. But all the process is the same, whether you're doing a ground up loan or a DSCR loan or a fix and flip loan. And I'll get into all those details, if you want to learn how to do this. Look, you can go to powerloangroup.com. My phone number and my email is right there. If you're really interested, that's how you get in touch with me. That's it. So if your hand was up at the beginning of this video, not I could see myself in my monitor right there. If your hand was up at the beginning of this video and you're interested in making good money, what I would consider good money, then give me a shout and I'll teach you how to do it. I'll happily teach you how to do it. We'll split the first deal or two, and once you're comfortable and you know where to go, then you're off to the races. I do have software in the works to help brokers place loans more easily. It's got 200 lenders on it. I'm sorry. It will have 200 lenders on it. And we're getting there. We're getting their finite data right now. And that's what really matters. And we're weeding through who are the third party operators and, that aren't completely honest with you. RFG comes to mind. They're a TPO for probably the largest lender, and I don't work with that lender anymore just because I don't like their process. It's not even that I don't like their process. I don't like their draw process because I'm also a house flipper, so I have experienced some of these lenders firsthand, and after going through their program, I'm like, I don't like the way you guys do that, so I wouldn't put my borrowers through that anymore. And that's something I can explain to you too. And that's another thing. When you start making enough money, you're going to start doing other things with the money. And it kind of makes life fulfilling. It's cool. Like you get to your first house and you like buy this house for $250,000 and put $150,000 into it and resell it for $525, $550. It's a pretty good feeling when that all goes the right way. There are missteps, but for the most part, everything in the flipping world, as long as you're patient, find the right deal, goes the right way. And it's something I enjoy doing too. But so there it is. If you're interested and your hand was up, and you go, it's powerloangroup.com. That's my contact information. It is a business phone number. I can see it, but it doesn't ring directly to me. You can message it, and I can see it through an app. But again, it's not my personal cell phone number. It is I don't know. It's through phone.com. It's who I have these phone numbers with. Anyway, that's all I have for you. If you're interested in learning a new career and you're decent, not even good, but decent, like you can do basic math in your head, like you can do 1% of a number. $250,000, 1% is $2,500. As long as you can do that, and you can go, okay, well, you talking to your buyer and they're like, yeah, I need a $300,000 purchase agreement I need a total of $100,000 for rehab. And you can look at them and go, I know what you need for down payment. Based on your history and your experience and your credit score. I'm not going to get into that here, but I know that you're going to be required to put down 15%, and you can look at them and go, that's $45,000. And by the way, that's nothing to them. I mean, most of your investors have that because they just sold another house for $200,000 and they have it and they're ready to put that into another house. So it's not even like an embarrassing thing to say, well, you got to come up with $60,000 or whatever. And on the big deals, it's huge money, guys. It's huge money. I have a client that has a $34,000 a month mortgage on a house. $34,000 a month. But when they sell that house, they're going to make $700,000. So it's not an overly lengthy flip, 7-8 months. So, and that's kind of cool stuff you get to see too, is other people successful. You'll get to get in rooms with people that are successful. You can go to groups and pitch these products. And a lot of people don't know they exist, even locally in your own town where you're going to find that there's investors. You go to your Buzz pages or whatever your local community calls those type of pages, and you just post in there, hey, I can get you fix and flip money, where I can get you the rehab money too. That's all you really have to say. And you're going to get people to go, wait, what did you say? I've been using my own. And that's what I found is huge. Is a lot of people were using their own. They didn't know they could get money for the purchase, money for the rehab, reimbursed to them as the project goes on so they can go buy another one. And that's another thing. There's not limits like conventional lending. You're not going to be limited to 10 houses. You can buy as many as you want. I mean, there's some certain lenders may have exposure limits, like we don't want to have more than 10 million in loans with you or whatever, or 5 million with you. Or, you're a relatively new borrower. We're going to cap your exposure at 5 million, whatever. But there's no limit. You can be working on 5 or 6 projects at the same time, and as long as you have a good flipper, a good investor, if they're doing rentals, DSCR loans, whatever, ground up construction. It doesn't matter. They're going to be okay. And the lender takes all that risk. You take none of it. You take zero of it. So you just do the deals and do them honestly. I will tell you before I go, I have had one borrower commit fraud, and I figured it out about 80% of my way through the loan, and I called the lender and I was like, I don't want any part of this. These documents are not real. I don't want to do this. I want out. And they said, well, we're going to finish this loan. We think it's a good borrower, and they did finish the loan, and they paid me. And I was like, I don't even want the money. And it was a pretty substantial loan, and I felt terrible when I took the pay, and then that fella defaulted to that lender, and then they started calling. Then the lender started calling me, and I'm like, I got emails, where I'm telling you guys that this is bogus, that there's something wrong. And I didn't realize it was bogus until this person came to get a second loan from me right away and used a bank account that had never changed. We'll say it that way. So once I saw the bank account that never changed, always had the exact same number, and I was like, I don't think these docs are real. And it was during the first loan that happened, and I never worked with that cat again. And they continued calling me for 6 months, 9 months. You're trying to get me to write them new deals, and I was like, yeah, best of luck, man. You can go commit fraud and go spend the next 20 years in prison, but I'm not gonna. All right, so that wraps it up. Lending is a thing. It's a real thing, guys. I'll see you next time.